Hey everybody, this is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing is easy. Warriors and witches, how y'all doing? And God bless. We're here to talk about 007, The Last Light. We're going to watch Dao Feng's video on The Last Light. And Last Light is going to be a woke slop mess. I saw it from the very beginning when they started to race swap and fucking gender swap certain characters. And I saw the way the main character looks, 007, and I'm just like, this is not 007. This is not 100%. It is not. But since he's got all the information with us, we might as well listen to Dao Feng.
In December 2025, IO Interactive's narrative and cinematics director, Martin Emborg, sat down with Monstervine at the Game Awards.
These are the same people that did Hitman, by the way. I like Hitman, but not lately.
And was asked a straightforward question: whether Bond would retain his smooth-talking, womanizing edge in 007 First Light.
Well, okay. By the way, anything with a deluxe edition that looks like this, you know the game's gonna be trash.
His answer was telling. Bond has evolved through the decades, Emborg said, and the game will reflect modern values. Because the old school Bond persona would be...
I mean, I knew it, but goddamn, they just say it? Hold on, let me read
whether Bond Divine at the Game Awards.
Let's read it.
Was asked a straightforward question: whether Bond would retain his smooth-talking...
Bond is known for being smooth talker and at times womanizer. Will they be seeing the same side of him? Yeah, you will. But obviously not.
Womanizing edge in 007 First Light. His answer was telling. Bond has evolved through the decades, Emborg said, and the game will reflect modern values because the...
But you just said, yeah, you will, but... Well, what? Then why did you say but then? Then throw... Every time when somebody throws in the butt, throw everything else out that was before the butt. Throw everything else out. So they were just bullshit. So we don't have James Bond. Okay, gotcha. Understood. Another fucking company that doesn't know how to make... That walks into our favorite shit and fucks with it. Oh, that's great. Let's keep it up. Let's keep going.
Old school Bond persona would be...
So you don't like Bond. Say it.
Tone deaf in this day.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. You're just saying PR shit. Last time I checked, BlackRock just said, yeah, DEI didn't work, so we're backtracking. So who the fuck is he getting these? What? So you're being woke for free? Yeah, you'll obviously, yeah, you will, but obviously not, is what he should be saying. As they were saying on stage before, the character Bomb has evolved. That's not an evolution, that's a de-evolution, okay? That's a deconstruction. You're making a normal man now. Who the fuck are you making? He's evolved through the decade? No, you haven't. This is younger Bond. This is young James Bond. You just made young James Bond and you said he's evolved through the decades? No, he devolved. Okay? I liked the older James Bonds. Didn't James Bond slap a lot of bitches? Oh, that's why they don't. See, this is why they don't like Lara Croft. Because Lara Croft's out there just fucking kicking ass, looking hot. See, let me tell you something. There's two types of people that are fucking up the gaming industry. It is ugly women that see hot characters and then they're flustered and fucked up about it. Women. And then there's the fucking cuckold men, this guy, Emborg, who are just a bunch of fucking losers who think that, oh man, well, I'm being a good boy. No, you're a fucking cuck. If you had a heel on your head, you would put a ball gag in your mouth. That's the type of individual we're dealing with. It's not going to be your old school Bond, which would just be tone deaf. They always say the same shit. Always the same shit. He's a modern guy, so it's not James Bond. I was about to say, so he's different, but no, it's just not James Bond then. It's just some regular fucking guy. So what did you add? I'm curious before we continue on with this. So he's just a normal guy. He's you. He's just a cuck with more hair.
He described their bond as a modern guy. That alone might not have detonated anything, but then more interviews surfaced. Franchise art director Rasmus Poulsen, speaking at Gamescom, confirmed that IO had deliberately...
This screen right here is the most ugly thing I've ever fucking seen. First of all, you're gonna motion blur the shit out of somebody, and then you're just gonna put a bunch of whole fucking dots everywhere, and then, oh yeah, by the way, there's very thin letters down here that are not highlighted. They're kind of grayed out. That's so fun. I love having a blur vision looking every time, bro. Every single time, it's the same ass shit where they're literally making another Hitman game, but it's with James Bond. So you don't know how to make anything else? Is that all you are? So it's like, oh yeah, I'm Hitman. I can see through walls and shit. Oh yeah, I'm James Bond. I can see through shit. What? Bro.
taken steps to move away from Bond's historically
What's with all the dots? What's with all the dots?
controversial traits.
I want to read this. IO Interactive finally gave World a deep dive look at what they've been cooking up with the 007 First Light. But as the back end of August, select media were invited to see it early at Gamescom and also speak to some of the responsible for bringing this all new James Bond into our hands. Yeah, all new James Bond. Yeah, whatever. You're a fucking fag. During a lengthy discussion with Rasmus Poulsen, the franchise art director on 007 First Light, the discussion turned towards some of the more unsavory aspects of James Bond. So you don't like James Bond. So you don't like James Bond. You came over and you saw James Bond and you hated James Bond. That's what you... It's like primarily his alcoholism and womanizing traits, which is in recent years especially have drawn criticisms of being outdated. You guys are... Part of you are just a bunch... It sounds like you got a whole bunch of Frenchmen that are fucking gay. You got a whole bunch of British people that are just a bunch of cucks in IO Interactive, and a bunch of ugly women that don't like that don't like beautiful women. That's who you got. That's who you got. You got cucks, ugly people, and losers.
His drinking, his womanizing, his unapologetic dominance, and had instead orchestrated a version of these traits that we feel...
Wow, a girl with short hair like James Bond. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. By the way, can I talk to you something about these characters that I'm seeing before me? Every single fucking character that you see besides James Bond, because he's in the forefront. By the way, why the fuck are you blinding me with the lights? But anyway, I'm gonna ignore that. Why is every character the same fucking height? Like almost about this. I see the one young lady right here, maybe a little bit shorter, but everyone is the same fucking height. Not only that, none of the characters pop out. I played Cyberpunk, okay? I played Cyberpunk 2077, and you would walk around and you would see a random person walking, and you're just like, he looks weird. He looks like he's high. He looks like he's on massive drug overdose. And then you see some random baddie out of nowhere, and you're just like, what the who the hell is that? She's hotter than Pan Am. But in this game, everybody looks dull.
Feels appropriate for us. In a separate conversation with Screen Rant, Poulsen...
That's a fucking bad. Hold on, I forgot to pull you up, chat. I apologize. Chat, I didn't forget about you. I'm sorry. Hold on. I'll put you up. Pull him up. I didn't forget you, chat. I promise. I'm gonna make myself a little bit better. Sorry. Yeah, that's a fucking man. Yeah, that's a fucking... Oh, she doesn't have any tits? Of course she doesn't have any tits. You can't have... You got her with the short hair. By the way, if you go back let me show you something. This bitch has short hair. And that bitch back there has short hair. And I think, no, there's just a lot of women with short hair with the same type of hairstyle. We're going to keep on going because I'm getting mad. I'm getting mad. All right. Mass Effect Andromeda looks better than this on character models. Oh my God. Oh, easy. Hold on. Back up. Back up. Too much. You're giving them too much credit there.
Feels appropriate for us. In a separate conversation with Screen Rant, Poulsen went further.
Why do you have these conversations with different names and stuff like this? Why don't you just have, why do you have choices on this fucking shit? The illusion of fucking choices. Why do you, I hate this. I hate it when you have choices that don't do shit. You do not have choices with this James Bond game, okay? You either move forward or ask for a little bit of information. Why don't you just say the whole conversation, ask everything, and then move the thing along? Stop doing this whole, like, Uncharted. Uncharted doesn't do that shit. They have conversations, and then they keep it pushing, just like this game should be. This whole idea that you're like, oh man, you get to choose what you get to talk about. Stop.
Specifically citing the treatment of women across earlier Bond films.
It was just as important for the team of IOI to also find the elements of Bond that they didn't want to bring to the forefront of their experience, which required looking at elements of the character that weren't feeling relevant to us. Stop with the relevancy shit. Just say you don't like it. Just quit being a little cuck, okay? Quit being a little bitch boy and just say what you mean to say. And exercising them. The Poulsen specifically cited the treatment of women in earlier incarnations of the characters. Just say that you don't want him to slap women because that hurts your fifis. I would have more respect for you if you just didn't lie. Okay?
And stating plainly that
also ESG scores. Okay, let's be honest. You want to know the reason they do not care about these characters, by the way. I want everybody to know they do not care about these characters. The only reason that they're going to certain specific games and characters is because they'll go to the most toxic, the most brazen, the most manly character, and they'll search for little DEI sort of bullshit to take away from them. They did that with Kratos. They're doing that with 007. Okay? They did that with Star Trek. They definitely did that shit with Doctor Who. They're doing that with fucking Lara Croft. They do not care about these characters, period. There's no like, ooh, icky. They see an ESG score, they fuck up the gamer. That's it.
Some of that has felt
money.
Off.
Surprise, surprise. Money fucks fucking greed again.
And that there are other aspects of older Bond.
Also, what's up with her shoulder blades? What are we doing here? She ugly ass bitch.
I would say don't feel like something we want to do now. Alongside this, Poulsen told Neon Lights Media that traditionally handsome is not something we want for their Bond. That they made him deliberately not too pretty because they wanted a human, not a doll.
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? They hate us because they ain't us. This is what we're talking about here. It's like, oh, I love James Bond, but I hate everything that he does or says or does. By the way, all these characters are so mute and so forgettable.
And Emborg, describing the women surrounding Bond in First Light, framed them as seasoned agents that will be running circles around him a little bit.
No. What you said?
Them as seasoned agents that will be running circles around.
What I think is so fun this time is that it's a Bond origin story. So you want to fuck him straight from birth, okay? So you really get to tag along as this young guy steps into this. I fucking hate this guy. You know, world of shadows or the world of espionage, bro. You literally have Hitman, and you're just doing the same. You have the same game. But except James Bond, you haven't changed anything. If anything, you made a worse game. Everyone who's around him are these kind of old hands in this world, so he's really the one guy that's kind of like the new kid on the block. God damn, you should have been beat up at school. You didn't get beat up enough at school. And that goes for the women as well. So obviously we have Priyanka as M16. That was the dumbest decision they ever made. But he will also meet some women in the field who are these kind of seasoned agents that will be running circles around him a little bit. I hate feminism. And that's a lot of fun. Is it? Is it?
Him a little bit, positioning the protagonist as consistently outmaneuvered by the people around him, which he
Wait, why would you hire him then? I just thought about that. Wait a minute. Why the fuck would you then let the ladies do it? It doesn't even have to be James Bond. You're such a fucking retard. Then let the women do it if they're so great. Oh yeah, ESG scores. Gotcha. Money.
described as a lot of fun.
By the way, he's not even bad looking. Did they even try?
By the people around him, which he described as
He's not even he's just younger. He just doesn't even like. Did they even try?
a lot of fun. So, to summarize the creative direction in their own words, Bond is less attractive by design, less dominant relative to his supporting cast.
Oh, it's definitely going to be less dominant.
Stripped of the traits the developers consider inappropriate, and rebuilt to reflect whatever modern values means to a Danish game studio in 2020.
Bro, Europe is surrounded by cucks. Oh, wait, Dana. Oh, Denmark? Copenhagen? Oh, yeah. Listen, over there, they're done. They're cooked. That area over there in Denmark, they're fucking done. Okay? All those areas, Netherlands, Norway, they're fucking cooked. They love being woke. That place is finite. Done. Okay? They keep on coming over and looking at us like, America, yeah, America, TDS. And then I'm like, we're number one, bitch. You ain't shit. Denmark, Norway, all those other fucking places in Europe. You ain't shit, okay? You ain't shit. You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing. All this, by the way, you're taken from Britain, okay? James Bond is straight from Britain. Wait. Let me try to straighten this up. No, it is straight from Britain. Because before the games, there were the movies. So it is straight from Britain. So you're taken from Britain. I mean, a lot of fucking woke studios takes from American, like, fucking love stuff. Like, we're talking Spider-Man 2. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? What they did to Peter Parker was fucking disgusting. Hell, this character looks like fucking Peter Parker from Spider-Man 2.
25. And the moment fans raised an eyebrow at any of this, the gaming press did what the gaming press always does.
Yeah, nobody cares.
The Escapist published a piece the same week the controversy.
Escapist is a dead company with losers, okay? They have 1 million subscribers, and you mean to tell me that these videos that you're seeing that are from 2 years ago, like one of them has 80k views? What are we doing? As a matter of fact, let's check out the Escapist right now. Let's get an update on how the escape is doing. Because last time I checked, a whole bunch of people left. Because listen, they're a bunch of losers. Okay, let's be straight on that. Bro, what the fuck, bro? Check this out. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Hold on. Check this out, bro. Yeah, you look like a cuck with those fucking blue and fucking pink light. Yeah, you all look like cucks. 33K views on a 1 million I'll just say 1 million. 1 million subscribers. Shadows of the Erd Tree video that is 16,000. Wait, these are all from a year ago? Is this the latest? Bro. These are the... Bro, you're dead. You're dead. These are all from a year ago. You're dead. Holy shit, it's cooked. Yeah, it's gone. Yeah, they're gone. They're gone. Never mind. They don't exist. All those videos, even the most recent videos from a year ago, they're cooked. It's gone. Never mind. They don't exist.
Controversy broke, and the opening line called concerned fans Reddit Red Pill Incels. The subheading called them neckbeards. And the
Neckbeards, after what I just saw one of the escapist people look like? That one neckbeard? It doesn't matter. Dead YouTube thing. But who are these?
The article described the entire discourse as a glimpse into a cesspool. And this is the part that genuinely fascinates me, because it exposes something these outlets never seem to recognize about themselves. The gaming audience is one of the most diverse, most global, most economically and ethnically varied entertainment.
Whoa. First of all, back up.
Diverse, most global.
Reports consistently show gaming as one of the broadest entertainment mediums. Global player base approximately 3.6 billion, and gender roughly. Sorry. This is all incorrect. There is not roughly 45% to 46% females playing video games. There's roughly 45 to 46% females playing fucking stupid card games and stupid shit on their phone playing video games. There's no real amount of gamers for women. They exist to be around maybe 20%. 20%. It's mostly men that play these games. Women are a very short bunch, and a lot of those women will just play stuff on their phone. A lot of women, I see them walking around on their phone, and they're definitely playing stupid fucking little junk games on their phone. Okay, the old ladies, all of them do. So this idea, they're counting games that aren't even fucking video games.
Most economically and ethnically varied entertainment demographics on the planet. Billions of people play games across every continent, every income bracket, every...
You don't have to prove this to anybody, dude, because it doesn't matter to these individuals. Because the only thing that they're out for is themselves. They don't care about anybody else. All they care about is themselves. I care about the gaming industry, but these people don't.
Cultural background. And yet, the moment a significant portion of that audience pushes back on an ideological creative direction, the journalists who spend their entire professional lives preaching diversity, inclusion, and respect for different perspectives,
they don't care about those things.
Immediately collapse into the most reductive stereotyping imaginable.
And guess what happens to those individuals, like the escapists? They die.
Everyone who disagrees is a neckbeard. Everyone who questions the direction is an incel. Everyone who doesn't share their worldview is a cesspool dweller. The hypocrisy is staggering. These are the same people who insist that representation matters, that every voice deserves respect, that dismissing someone's perspective based on identity is the...
What is the design of these characters, man? All of these characters, what engine are you using? I feel like we've gone backwards with character design. Like even Naughty Dog, the character in Naughty Dog, there was a party going on, or a rich lavish party going on, and the characters that you walked around had more design to them. Even Cyberpunk did. These characters look like they just picked the character in the randomizer Unreal Engine, and they just said, "Yep, yeah, you're here." All these characters are so... I don't even feel like they're NPC. I feel like they're mannequins.
Cardinal sin of modern discourse. And then, the second, a gamer with a different...
By the way, this is a lovely area, but this character's just walking around doing nothing. Is this your game?
opinion opens their mouth, all of those principles evaporate. Rules for thee, not for me.
True.
It's the most transparent double standard in entertainment media, and it happens every single time, without fail. And just to be clear, because this always needs to be said, nobody here is advocating for toxicity toward women.
I'm advocating for it. I asked for 007. I want him to slap a bitch. What are you talking about? Maybe you don't. I want to see that shit. I want 100% James Bond. And you're giving me some guy named Fred. That's what I want. I want 100% James. If you cannot handle even a smidge of James Bond, then get the fuck out.
Nobody serious is asking for Bond to backhand someone across a hotel.
That's what we want. I want that shit. I want him to fuck somebody's bitch, and then he just plays it off and just leaves the hotel, and then he puts on a different tux, he puts a cigar in his mouth, talks to another bitch, slaps a bitch, and another thing that is a prime James Bond move is him drinking. Yo, martini, cocktail, martini, martinis.
That framing is a deliberate straw man, designed to avoid engaging with the actual argument. And the actual argument is philosophical, not behavioral. It's about worldview.
Yep.
Here is the worldview question that sits underneath every single one of these controversies. And it's one that almost nobody in games journalism is willing to articulate honestly.
What? I'm supposed to be listening to him. They're already showing it right now. I don't listen to him, but look at the cutscene. Do you notice anything wrong about this part right here? Watch this.
Here is the worldview question that sits underneath every single one of these controversies. And it's one that almost nobody in games journalism is willing to articulate honestly. Life.
What did you notice? Chat. It's on the quiz. What did you notice? What did you notice? What did you notice? Because I notice. I know what it is. I'll give you guys a second. I'll give you a second. There's two things. There's two things that I noticed in that whole cutscene. You know what? I'll tell you.
Behavioral. It's about worldview.
James Bond looks like he's more urgent in the matter. And James Bond really doesn't do that so much. When James Bond looks urgent, it's very rare. It's like 30% of Bond is urgent, and like 70% is like him just being cool about it. Like he'll be in the thick of it, and he'll be just smooth about it. That's him looking urgent. Look at the lady.
Here is the worldview question that sits underneath every...
She's being smooth about this whole thing. This ugly fucking bitch with the chinny chin.
Single one of these controversies.
With the flat chest, by the way. All these women have flat chests.
And it's one that almost nobody in games journalism is willing to articulate.
And there it is. And there it is right there. She's handing James Bond his balls. That's what it is. She's handing James Bond his balls. Yo, fuck this game, bro. Are you serious? You don't think James Bond doesn't... You think James Bond doesn't have a pistol on him? Are you serious? He's just walking around without a weapon? Even if he went to an area that he's not supposed to have a gun, he would always find a way to put a gun somewhere. That is complete bull. You just have that short-haired bitch guiding James Bond around. You have this ugly bitch number 2, handing James Bond his balls. And this nigga's like, are you fucking serious? And that's my look. Like, all right, bitch, are you serious? Of course I would have a gun. A woman drove him, and a woman gave him his balls. that bro, I totally did not think about. You are so fucking snail. Snail is winning it. Snail is on it. I missed it. Give it up to Snail. There is no shot that James Bond would let a bitch ride the fast, nice car. No shot. He would drive. He'd be like driving like this, holding his gun. He's like, push the red button. I think some of his cars even had weapons on them or something like that, I think. Or like they would be bulletproof or something. There's a whole bunch of things, but he would always hold his gun and he'd be, or just like shoot or something like that. That's James Bond. Hell, if he had a third hand, he'd be drinking while he's driving. Bro, it was right in front of my... Thank you, Snail.
Life is inherently hierarchical. It is unequal. Competitive.
It's supposed to be.
Stratified across every dimension of human experience. Socially, economically, politically, athletically, intellectually.
Critics argue that traditional masculinity embraces hierarchy through competition, status seeking, and competence displays provider, protector roles. It's James Bond. Yeah, that's James Bond. The claim is used to suggest that that's men. Yeah, we're men. Like making Bond less commanding, reject the natural male-oriented try. So you're not making a James Bond movie. You're just making Fred the secret agent man.
It isn't a moral position. It's an observable reality. And every culture has had to develop a response to it. Every sports league on Earth is a hierarchy. Every classroom produces a distribution of performance. Every job market sorts candidates by competence. And every economy rewards some skills more than others. Not because someone designed it to be cruel, but because scarcity, talent, effort, and circumstance are distributed unevenly, and always have been. The Olympic Games don't hand out participation medals at the podium. Medical schools don't admit students by lottery. Air traffic control towers don't staff themselves on the basis of demographic representation.
He's right.
In every domain where the stakes are real, where lives or lives...
Yo, what is this area? What is this area? It's just, don't shoot the men. Yo, this ugly ass fucking game, and they're just forego shooting the enemy, just shoot the giant bombs that destroy, the giant red canisters that destroy everything. That is so fucking lazy.
Livelihoods depend on the outcome. Humanity defaults to hierarchy, because hierarchy is what emerges naturally when performance matters. And this isn't just an economic or athletic observation. It's a deeply social one. Every friend group has a natural leader. Every workplace has people who carry more weight than others.
I like the grapples,
Every
but that's
creative
it.
field produces a tiny...
Bro, just shoot the red shit. This whole area is nothing. This whole area does not exist. There are Uncharted, because I'll always bring up Uncharted because Uncharted reminds me of James Bond because it's a cool looking dude. He's just out there doing his shit, but he'll go through some random acts and like just, you know, crazy shit will happen. Even on the lowest fucking settings or the lowest graphics, Uncharted was able to look absolutely beautiful. This area right here looks plain. The last Uncharted one, which I kind of like, even though people don't like, the last Uncharted one, when you're getting when you're on the back of a giant truck in this muddy area, it looked beautiful. In this game, everything's just like just shoot the giant bomb thing. Just shoot it. Like even that one you remember the giant plane thing with Uncharted? That was fucking impressive. I think they're about to do it right now. It looks like you got to get in the plane.
Fraction of people whose work resonates with millions, and a vast majority whose work resonates with almost nobody.
Oh wow, just destroy all that.
Distribution isn't evidence of systemic injustice. It's evidence of the fundamental variance in human ability, discipline, timing, and luck.
That was easy.
You can find this uncomfortable. You can wish it were different. But you can't build a coherent worldview by pretending it isn't true. Because every attempt in history to forcibly flatten human hierarchy from
I mean, he's correct, but I'm looking at the gameplay as well while listening to him because I don't like the DEI frameworks. I don't like, but I'm looking at the gameplay, and even though I like the combos that he's pulling off, some of the moments to moment areas are way too sticky. Like it's too framey. What's the word I'm looking? Like the way he positions his gun on his chest and aims at it, it's too like static. It's just like it doesn't look like he's actually moving his arm. It just seems like, I don't know, man.
Soviet collectivism to Maoist cultural revolution has produced not equality, but a new and far more brutal hierarchy with ideology enforcers at the top.
Yep.
And everyone else crushed underneath.
Yep. Marxism, feminism.
So the question isn't whether hierarchy exists. The question is how you respond to it. There are fundamentally two responses. The first is aspirational resistance. You look at the hierarchy, you acknowledge its existence, and you compete. You refine yourself. You develop excellence. You climb. You celebrate the characters and stories that embody that climb, not because they're average, but precisely because they're exceptional. And their exceptionalism gives the rest of the culture something to orient itself toward, something to strive for, a vision of what a human being looks like when they refuse to accept their current position and instead become something greater. The second response is representational resistance. You look at the hierarchy, and instead of competing within it, you reject the hierarchy itself. You reframe excellence as exclusion, aspiration as privilege, competition as violence against those who can't or won't participate. Instead of raising yourself up, you demand that the structure be flattened until everyone occupies the same position. And
that'll never work because people have decided what exactly that they want. There's their whole modern audience idea. Who came up to Concord? No one. They've decided, oh shit, we could just make a DEI game with brand new characters, and they realized that they just lost $400 million at Sony. They tried to make their own DEI game, and they realized that they lost $400 million. That's a lot of fucking money. So now what they do is, or what they have been doing, is that they latch themselves onto something that you enjoy, especially when it's something based. And so they just like a fucking tick.
force that flattening through cultural pressure,
What up, Craig?
through institutional capture, through the relentless insistence that every story must reflect the demographic and ideological composition of its audience, rather than challenge that audience to become something more. This second impulse, which originated as class struggle and has since mutated into identity struggle,
The shift from a traditional Marxist focus on class struggle, economic exploitation, to a focus on feminist and DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, identity, politics occurred through a convergence of historical and theoretical and economic factors, often described as a move away from economic materialism toward cultural politics. This evolution was driven by the failure of the 1960s and 70s movements to achieve economic revolution. Actually, the best revolution. It didn't actually fail because it was the best. It's like, oh man, these areas failed. How? What do you mean? What do you mean? Everybody keeps on looking at the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s like, oh man, you guys could actually afford a house. Oh, you boomers were able to have a great life, and now you left us with this. Hello, you built this shit. You built this city. You built this shit, okay? This is not some sort... I hate that term where it's just like, well, you guys had it this... Like, no, it is your turn as a full-grown adult to change things to fit how you want to live. You want to be able to afford, to afford rent. You want to be able to have a house. You want to be able to have a car. You want to be able to have just one job. Just one job to live off of. Well, now's your chance to do that. But no, we're just gonna sit on our ass and be like, oh well, we can't because you guys left us like this. Nigga, shut the fuck up. It's like, oh man, we're just gonna have to, we're just gonna have to do some Marxism and some fucking communist bullshit where we just tax the rich. And I'm like, so your idea of making things better in 2026 is to just steal. You couldn't think of anything else? You couldn't think of anything? Because stealing is short term, okay? And it doesn't really help anybody, especially people that have a job. Because if you steal, guess what? If you steal too much, guess what? The store closes, and then you wonder, oh shit, I need to afford groceries. That whole sort of lifestyle. Everybody's thinking, oh man, communist Marxism, it's going to be great. Who gets the money? Nobody ever asks like, oh man, back then in the 1960s and 70s, you guys had it. Actually, everybody had opportunities. Everybody had fucking opportunities. And then Obama brought his black ass in here and then fucked everything up. But we had opportunities in the past, and then you had to fuck all that shit up with your fucking gender politics and your fucking fucking gay marriage and shit. You fucked it all up. You didn't focus on the economy. You didn't focus on investing. You didn't focus on like the future. You focused on politics. Because why? Because who fucking knows why? There's one of them is Orange Man bad, but that's the only. Everybody wants to fucking be a streamer now. I could talk about this all day, bro. I could talk about this all day. It's like, oh shit, feminism is gonna help us out. How's that going, bitch? Your pussy's so dry. I could fucking create sandpaper with this bitch. Okay. Now you're alone and a whore.
Struggle through the academic frameworks of the last 40 years.
Oh man, the boomers had it great. He's like, if only we could have those sort of great times. They kind of ruined it for us. Hey, I want to get married even though I'm gay. I want to destroy the church. I want to bring in illegals. I want to be a whore and have my body, my choice. #MeToo. I want to have all these fucking things. And then those people go like, oh yeah, honey, do whatever you want, whenever you want, go ahead. And then they look at us like, Anyway, everything's your fault.
Is what people mean when they say woke. And it isn't simply about casting decisions or sensitivity in dialogue. It's a complete philosophical.
Now Star Wars sucks, and no, everybody's single, and bro, I could. Now Star Wars sucks. Women are out here being whores. People are trying to cut kids' dicks off, and you can't afford a house. Thank you, young people of 2026.
Reorientation. From a culture that celebrates the exceptional individual to one that views the exceptional individual with suspicion, as though excellence itself is an act of theft from someone more deserving. When
Someone
IO
more
Interactive
deserving.
says they've orchestrated Bond's traits to be appropriate, when they deliberately make him less attractive, less commanding, less competent relative to the women around him, when they call his classical persona tone deaf, they aren't just making a creative choice. They're making an ideological declaration. They're saying the aspirational framework is no longer acceptable and must be replaced with something more representative.
Accounting for inflation, you're right, Craig. I just want them to fix the fucking money. Yeah, very true.
More egalitarian, more modern. And that is a worldview I simply can't get behind.
That you're 100% correct, Craig. But I'm over here like, do you want to you want to focus? You want to pivot and focus and put your resources towards making sure that you have that lifestyle that was you know, that economic lifestyle that was in the 1960s. But everybody just complains. And I'm just like, stop complaining and do something about it. Put yourself in office. Do something, because, you know, build something. And I'm over here like, okay. It's like, now's your, I'm like, it's like, anyway, I'm going to go work at DoorDash now. And I'm like, bro, you're not going to change much if you just work at DoorDash. If you want the dollar to be to be worth it, you have to work at it. Stop steering people towards politics and steer them towards the economy. The funny thing is Trump is trying to help. I could talk about that shit all day. It's like, oh man, we're letting all these illegals in. He's like, I love that. He's like, nobody's illegal on stolen land. Huh? Why is the bread so expensive? And I'm like, I don't know, Diane. I don't know, Diane. Maybe it's all these illegals that are here. I'm just making it.
Growing up watching one of those movies on the couch, didn't matter if it was Bond in a tailored suit dismantling a villain's
that's old school,
operation.
bro. These are the Bonds games. Casino Royale was all right, but it was definitely, bro. We got some bangers up in here. I will listen. I know that they're saying like a 6.5. It doesn't matter. All these movies are bangers. Oh, bro, Die Another Day, bro. The world is not enough, bro. Bro, Golden Eye. Bro, the living. Bro, Nightfire. Yeah, bro.
Over a game of poker, or Statham in a black t-shirt kicking his way through a warehouse, or Rocky getting back up off the canvas for the 4th time with blood in his eyes.
All
or
bangers.
Bruce Lee moving with a discipline so pure it didn't even look human. These movies were corny. They were over the top. Some of them were objectively ridiculous.
We didn't give a fuck. It was prime time, baby. You remember that time that Bruce Lee stepped on a nigga and was like, I was doing the same thing as a kid with my fucking SpongeBob underwear on. I was like, I stepped on my dad and I was like, bro, It was the best time. Now all these niggas out here coming up with stupid shit with movies and TV shows, and they try to be cool. Back then, that was the rule of cool. Now, it's like a bunch of fucking losers trying to be cool. You'll know the difference between somebody being like fucking like, oh man, it's like, this is kind of weird, but it's kind of funny and kind of cool. And then there's right now the stuff that we're getting lately, and we're just like, I don't want to watch. Perfect example would be like Daredevil Born Again, the new season. What the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Why is Kingpin in Marvel a fucking cock? You know what I'm saying? It's cringe. There's cringe in 2026, but back then, bro, they were trying to be cool, and they were cool. Okay?
And none of that mattered, because sitting there as a kid, watching them, the takeaway was immediate and obvious. I want to be like that one day. That's what those films did. They transmitted a value system, not through lectures or messaging, but through the sheer magnetic pull
love
of
Jason
competence
Statham
on display, passed down across generations, from fathers to sons, from uncles to nephews, in living rooms where nobody needed to explain the appeal, because the appeal was self-evident. Toughness, wit, sheer refusal to quit, composure under pressure, accountability for outcomes instead of excuses for failure, the discipline to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term competence. These are the traits that hold families together, that build businesses from nothing, that keep someone functional when everything around them is falling apart. They're the difference between a person who collapses under adversity and a person who adapts, endures, and solves the problem. And for generations, the stories we told, the characters we celebrated, reinforced those traits as worth pursuing, as the foundation of a life that doesn't depend on anyone else's permission to succeed. You will never, in any universe, see James Bond or Jason Statham look at the sheer weight of the world bearing down on them, the odds, the enemies, the systems rigged against them, the entire hostile machinery of reality.
Very true.
And say, you know what we need? More representation and equality.
Exactly.
That thought doesn't exist in the aspirational framework, because the aspirational framework doesn't ask the world to accommodate you. It tells you to compete against the world and win. And that is the energy, the philosophy, the entire reason these characters became cultural icons in the first place. This growing trend in video games, this steady drift toward representational ideology, dressed up as creative evolution, is the one thing that genuinely turns me off from a game. More than bad graphics or clunky controls, or even a weak story.
There's uglier games with more masculinity than you'll ever see. Like there's just like many games out there that have lower graphics. We could go back to the older games of God of War. More masculinity out of that than the fucking new God of War.
Because it's the unmistakable feeling that the developers built something that mistakes weakness for virtue and dresses it up loud enough to pass as strength. And 007 First Light.
Oh, well, I have to let this guy know that they know this. They just don't care. They know this. They just don't care. They do not deserve 007 as a video game or anything. They just don't. They just don't.
Based on everything its own creators have said publicly, looks like it might be exactly that kind of game.
Well, anyway, that's a good video. It's quite informative, but I think what he needs to know is that the way they think and the way the way the IO Interactive thinks and the way we think, or the way he thinks, is completely different. Like, he's saying things in the way, he's thinking things in the way of like, oh yeah, well, you know, we could talk them into making a better game. There's no talking to these people. There's none. It's like, oh man, well here's the thing. You mistake masculinity as some bad virtue or so, or you don't understand James Bond. They know that. They know that. That's why they came over here and fucked it up. They're not real fans. They're not. As a matter of fact, they're not really Hitman fans either. Hitman used to be real good back in the day. Now it's just a fucking... What is it? What is it, honestly? Anyway, I haven't played a good Hitman game in years. We're not gonna get a new James Bond game in a while. We'll just go back to playing GoldenEye on our N64. You know, you could... I think the old GoldenEye is actually available on like some websites or something like that. Bro, hold on. Give me a second. No fucking way. No fucking way. Woo! Woo! Yeah, just get this game. Just get this game, bro. Just get this game. All right? Just get this game. Forget this music. Hold on. We'll do a little bit of it. We'll do it. We'll do a little bit. All right? This is the game you need. That's the James Bond that we want. That's the one we want. That's the James Bond I know. That's the one I know.